Fearful avoidant X, signs your avoidant X is moving on. There's one glaring sign that your fearful avoidant X is moving on. You can notice the sign both in the relationship and during the breakup. This particular sign can also help you understand what may have happened in the fearful avoidant's heart and mind towards the end of the relationship. And especially if you felt blindsided by the breakup, or if your breakup ended in a blowout fight that seemingly came out of nowhere. In this video, I'll talk about a couple of other signs as well, but predominantly we'll focus on this one particular way that the fearful avoidant views relationships and how that can shift over time and make them want to move on. Hi, I'm Katya Morozova. I am a personal and relationship coach for people who are ready to heal their relationship wounds, become secure in their skin, and have healthy relationships. I'm also the founder of KatyaMorozova.me. If you're new to my channel and you want to understand your attachment style, your partner's attachment style, and have fulfilling relationships in your life, then definitely subscribe to my channel. Sign number one is relationship sabotage. There are a number of ways that the FA can sabotage a relationship. For instance, they start treating you poorly, they cheat on you, or they break up with you a bunch of times. Or the sabotage can be a bit more subtle, like ignoring you in social situations or flirting with other people. Sabotage is an unconscious and layered process, and likely if the fearful avoidant is unconsciously sabotaging the relationship, then there are deeper reasons for why they're pushing you away. Unless they get connected to those reasons on a conscious level, they'll most likely continue to move the relationship towards its demise. Next, let's get this pretty straightforward sign that your fearful avoidant partner or ex is moving on out of the way. This also answers a very common question that clients ask, which is, how do you know if a fearful avoidant is moving on versus deactivating? The only way to know that is if the deactivation is continuous. In fact, if it's continuous, then it no longer becomes a deactivation, but rather distancing that signals that the relationship is over. I often notice that people learn about the fearful avoidant and the dismissive avoidant deactivation strategy and then want to look at their breakup through that lens. They want to imagine that their ex is simply deactivating and will ultimately return. It can give you hope to cling to the idea that your ex is just triggered and has their defenses up and will ultimately come back. But the reality is that if someone isn't coming back for weeks and months, then likely they're moving on. Even if they do come back after a couple of weeks, the likelihood that they will leave again is now even higher. And more than likely, this behavior is the starting point of the on-again, off-again cycle. As well, this underlines a deeper issue, the issue of how much they value you. Would someone who really values you come in and out of your life over and over and over again? And this leads us to our next sign that the fearful avoidant is moving on. These next two signs can actually happen during the relationship, throughout the relationship, and likely during the breakup. Sign number three is the sign that I mentioned at the very beginning, which is the number one signal that your relationship will soon be over if you're still in the relationship. Sign number three is they devalue you or lose respect for you. Devaluation is common for avoidance in general. If idealization is the method that a fearful avoidant employs to attach to their partner, then it would make sense that devaluation is the way they exit the relationship. Because fearful avoidants have a shaky sense of self, they'll often bond with partners who are perceived as more stable and have a more stable sense of self. They idealize their partner because of this. Yet over the course of the relationship, as limerence starts to fade and as the relationship hits the natural bumps in the road and the humanness of their partner becomes apparent, the fearful avoidant begins to devalue the partner. Minor issues can blow up to catastrophic proportions. As the intimacy grows and the FA becomes triggered by that growing intimacy and closeness, they will simultaneously not be able to place why they're getting triggered. And because of this nameless fear or anxiety that they lack awareness around, they resort to their defensive strategy and externalize their fear. Their partner then becomes all bad. Challenges become irreconcilable, and the FA may even antagonize their partner, revealing some of their negative views of them and of the relationship. When devaluation becomes extreme, the only obvious choice is to leave the relationship. Why would they stay in a relationship or with a person that they think so little of? If you get the sense that your ex-partner is in this place, then the likelihood of reconciling is pretty low, and they are most likely moving on. As well, signs of devaluation don't have to be overt. They can be subtle. For instance, you may start to feel disrespected or that your partner has a disdain for you or the relationship. It's not uncommon for an FA to hide their devaluation because they often have some knowledge that they do this and can be embarrassed and ashamed of this tendency, yet not know how to change it. Sign number 4. Sign number 4 is they believe there is a deep relationship inequality between the two of you. For instance, if the fearful avoidant inherently thinks that they are damaged, unworthy, or broken and views you as too good for them. Now, if you've heard this from your FA partner on multiple occasions, and if they give this as a reason for breaking up, then likely your FA is moving on from the relationship or will in time. Here's why. The FA will vocalize this inequality to a partner and often be pretty transparent about it. You may even admire them for being so transparent, yet wonder why they think so poorly of themselves. You may feel sorry for them when they talk this way, or you may have empathy for them. What they often won't say that's behind this thinking is that they also think that because of this inequality, they believe that they're taking advantage of you or somehow playing you. Or they logic that if they are broken and you are choosing to be with them, a broken person, then there also must be something wrong with you. So there's a problem with this type of faulty logic that sits atop the FA's fragmented view of self and the world. If the FA thinks that they're taking advantage of you because they're somehow manipulating you into putting up with them, they'll ultimately prove their self-fulfilling prophecy that they're somehow bad and defective. If they end up feeling bad and defective for some time, they'll enter into a shame spiral. And if they can't get out of it by thinking more clearly about the situation and realizing that it's their thought process that could use some work, they'll need to do something to mobilize out of the shame. Breaking up is often a common choice at this point because they'll view it as the only way out of feeling the way that they feel. Breaking up is also an obvious step for them at this point if they have somehow demonized you in the process of devaluation. These last two signs signal someone's capacity for being in relationship or lack thereof. It signals a lack of capacity for distinguishing what your stuff is versus what your partner's stuff is, right? If you start projecting all of your problems and your insecurities onto your partner and demonizing them, well, that's a problem that you have to work through on your own. And the fearful avoidant has to choose to embark on that journey. So the reason I share this with you is because there's not a lot that you can do for the fearful avoidant if you're seeing this about them. This is a journey that they alone have to walk. I'm curious about your thoughts on the last two signs in particular. Is this something you recognize with your fearful avoidant? Hit that like button if these signs feel familiar, and let me know in the comments below how this has played out in your relationship. Hey, I just wanted to give you a heads up that I have 3 spots that have opened up in my 3-month coaching program. It's called Recover, Restore, Reconnect, where you will recover from your breakup, restore your sense of self and your sense of self-worth post-breakup, and reconnect with your ex if it feels right, and only if it feels right. That program is going to be linked in the description below. It is a private coaching program. It is an investment. It is for people who are serious about recovering from their breakup and really reconnecting to who they are post this relationship. While I do support people getting back together if it's really right, this program is for you if you have a deeper and more profound investment in yourself. If you don't want to repeat the same relationship mistakes, if you want to move towards earn secure, and if you really take your development seriously and you want to really transform your relationship patterns in the next 3 months. So if that sounds good to you, then definitely apply for that program below. As well, I do offer one-off coaching sessions if you want a quick breakthrough conversation, or if you want some clarity on your specific dynamic. I'll also link to that in the description below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to watch more videos to help you understand the fearful avoidant attachment style during a breakup. Next up is my video on how to heal from a breakup with a fearful avoidant. Definitely check that out next. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.